Emperor Kale stood motionless on the obsidian throne, his crystalline form refracting the light of 1,000 stars. For 3,000 years, he had ruled the galactic dominion with absolute authority. His presence alone could silence entire armies. His judgment was final. His word was law, and his face had never, not once, displayed anything resembling emotion. The imperial trials had begun at dawn. Every military commander, every decorated warrior, every elite soldier in the empire had been summoned to prove their worth to their sovereign. Kale had personally designed the trials decades ago to identify weakness, cowardice, and disloyalty. So far, 47 warriors had faced him. 47 had failed. Commander Helena watched from the observation deck, her augmented eyes tracking every micro-movement of the Emperor's massive form. She had served the Empire for 2 centuries and had never seen him smile. She wasn't even certain he could. His crystalline structure seemed engineered for dominance, not warmth. Then the doors to the trial chamber opened, and something unexpected walked in. Marcus Chun was not a warrior. The human mechanic stood barely 6 feet tall, a diminutive figure compared to the Emperor's 20-foot frame. He wore a grease-stained uniform and carried what appeared to be a broken communication device. Security moved to remove him, but Kale raised a hand. "Let him approach," the Emperor commanded, his voice like grinding glaciers. Marcus walked forward, seemingly unbothered by the Emperor's overwhelming presence. Most beings would have been paralyzed by fear. Marcus simply looked curious. "Your Majesty," Marcus said, holding up the broken device. "I know why you're testing everyone." Kale's crystalline surface rippled slightly, the closest thing to surprise anyone had ever witnessed. "Explain yourself, human." "You're lonely," Marcus said simply. "You've been testing warriors for 3,000 years because you're looking for someone interesting. Someone who won't just bow and scrape. Someone who can actually talk to you like a person instead of a god." The entire chamber fell silent. Guards tensed, ready for what would surely be an execution. But Kale merely tilted his head, a gesture that might have been curiosity. "You presume much," the Emperor said coldly. "I do," Marcus agreed. "But look at this device." He held up the broken communicator. "Your engineers built this, right? State-of-the-art technology. Absolutely perfect, until it hits one tiny malfunction. Then it dies completely. No redundancy, no flexibility, no room for anything unexpected. Sound familiar?" Kale's entire form seemed to freeze. "You compare me to a broken machine?" "I'm comparing your entire empire to a broken machine," Marcus corrected. 3,000 years of perfect order, perfect obedience, perfect control, and you're bored out of your crystalline mind because nothing ever surprises you anymore. Commander Helena prepared to watch a human vaporized. Instead, something extraordinary happened. Kale made a sound, a deep, resonant vibration that echoed through the chamber. It took everyone a moment to understand. The Emperor was laughing. "Remarkable," Kale said, his tone almost unrecognizable. "In 3,000 years, no one has ever told you the truth?" Marcus interrupted. "Yeah, well, you're the Emperor. People are terrified, but I've fixed broken machines for 50 years, and I'll tell you something. The best systems aren't the ones with perfect control. They're the ones with flexibility, redundancy, room to adapt." Kale descended from his throne, an action that caused several warriors to fall backward in shock. The Emperor circled Marcus slowly, studying him with what might have been genuine interest. "What do you propose, human mechanic?" Marcus smiled. "Let me fix your empire. Not the whole thing. That would take forever. But start small. Give people room to be creative. Allow failure without punishment. Build redundancy into your systems. Stop testing warriors for perfection and start looking for people who can think differently. You expect me to restructure 3,000 years of governance based on the advice of a maintenance worker? I expect you to stop being a broken machine," Marcus replied. "You've achieved perfect order. Maybe it's time to achieve something better, actual growth." Kale was silent for what felt like an eternity. Then, impossibly, his crystalline form seemed to relax. His rigid edges became less severe. When he spoke again, His voice carried something almost like warmth. "You are correct, human. I've spent 3 millennia perfecting a system that no longer serves me or my people. The trials end today. Assemble the council. We have much to discuss." As Marcus was escorted from the chamber, he turned back to see something no one in 3,000 years had witnessed. Emperor Kale, alone on his obsidian throne, still laughing. Commander Helena finally understood. The Emperor hadn't been testing warriors to find the strongest or most loyal. He had been searching for someone brave enough to tell him the truth. And it took a humble human mechanic, armed with nothing but wisdom and perspective, to finally make him smile.